This is going to be a continuation. I can't believe it. Sorry, guys. This is a part 2. I accidentally hit the button as I was moving the camera. And so this is going to be a reading split up into 2. Hope you don't mind. I don't do any editing. I do these all in one take, and I don't like to splice or edit. So hopefully you can roll with it. So I was just in the middle of trying to get to number 26. And I was just talking about how all through this reading so far, my little bookmarks have been flying out, and I've had to research for the right page anyway, fresh. So that might be a message for some of you. You know how they say some of the best laid plans, they do lead to results, but sometimes you can make your plans and then the unexpected happens. So in this case, that's what's going on. So let's just go with it. So I'm going to read Flamingo Spirit, Embrace the In-Between. Oracle message. Balance comes easily. Let's see. Give me a second. Okay, let me do that over again. Balance comes easily to Flamingo Spirit, who sees what was and what will be and stands strong in the face of uncertainty. You can be informed by what came before and plan for a future yet to be, but do not resist Flamingo Spirit's call to be fully present in the now, where the real magic happens. With one foot in the life you are moving away. Sorry, it's continued. From the life you're living away from, and one in the future, as you become the one who leads the life of your highest intentions. You must make peace with the fact that you are not fully in either place. Embrace the in-between. The presence of Flamingo Spirit is also a sign that your creativity is arising within you, and opportunities are beginning to present themselves. Remain here in a balanced state of mind, for there is much to know and learn before going forward with new plans. You can trust this moment and yourself as you take in what you are and become aware of all that you are experiencing in this in-between time. The protective message, if this were in reverse, I'm going to read it anyway, if the card were in reverse. If you're feeling nervous and wobbly, stop worrying about the past and the future. Instead, be present in the moment, balancing for now in the space in which creativity arises. Creativity is your birthright. But if you're moving too quickly in an attempt to avoid the discomfort of transition, you can blind yourself to the miraculous possibilities that are before you now and those just coming into being. The past has its lessons and planning has its merits, but right now you may be imbalanced because you're becoming too nostalgic for what once was or too anxious about what the future might hold. There is time to plan carefully. For now, be still and know that Spirit is here, co-creating with you in this moment. The next step will appear when it needs to appear. Relax into a state of equanimity and balance so any anxiety can transmute into trust and faith that all will be as it will for the highest good. And I'm going to read that line one more time because I think that was so important. The next step will appear when it needs to appear. So, relax and get into the balance of that. And that again goes back to the trust and the knowing with a capital K, that inner knowing that all is well. And if it doesn't appear to be, it is in truth. Okay? All right, so now I think I'm just going to read the messages below our other little spirit animals. And let's see if we can tie it all together for this row. So 59 is, if I get it right, a 14 or number 5. And we have this gorgeous starfish. And it's a starfish spirit, open to infinite possibility. And then we have number 4. It's a beautiful card too. Badger spirit, be fearless and bold. Okay? And it reminds me of these rocks of, if they were big, at bigger scale, they would be boulders. So bold like a boulder, right? And grounded into the earth. All right, Bobcat, we had that recently in a reading, number 8. And Bobcat Spirit says life is a mystery. And then we have number 36 or 9, which is a gorgeous card too. And that is Koi Fish Spirit. There is always enough. And then we hop up to one more animal card. Animal Spirit, we got number 21 or 3. Gorgeous dove with a crown. Beautiful. It says, Dove Spirit, be peace. Some of the crystals that wanted to come out with some of these cards are a little wand of selenite a nice smooth, and that was a rough one, smooth palm stone of selenite and tiger's eye. We have a little crystal horse charm, which we'll get to. Actually, we've got two more animals at the bottom. You know what? I'm going to go straight to those after the crystals and finish out with the animals. And then we have another clear quartz, a cute little penguin. And then, let's see. Oh, and then these are just assorted. I'm not sure exactly what they are. There could be onyx, obsidian, things of that nature in there. Okay, so let's look down here, finish out the animals, and we'll see if there's a message, that wants to tie it all together or somehow interface with all of them. So we have the horse, and it just says, free spirit, give yourself the space and freedom to express your creativity. And for this card, that's pretty self-explanatory, but I love the huge, jumbo crystals in the foreground. To me, they look like Lemurian quartz or pink Lemurian quartz or a pink Himalayan quartz. So that might mean something to someone out there. Or you could even loosely translate that into the pink Himalayan salt and maybe want to cook with it or use it in some culinary way or healing way. Okay. And then now we get to the penguin, and it looks like an emperor penguin to me with a night sky. And this is diamond light activation. Light activations and new energies are coming your way. Be open to receive and welcome them in. Okay. Now let me just see if I want to read anything from the book on the two below. Because like I said, I think we're just going to stick with the flamingo on the other deck. And I think we will. Let's see. Are we feeling this? I'm just pre-scanning here. Hang on. Okay, I think we'll just do the horse. And then we'll get to seeing if there are any other messages overall with the animals here on the table. Okay, so the horse, I'll try to keep this steady enough. Let's see if I can do it. The elements are earth and air. The meaning is, give yourself the space and freedom to express your creativity. The horse comes with a message of freedom. She runs where she chooses and connects with the earth in such a nurturing, loving way, respecting the land. She sees all the layers of life-giving soil and the crystals beneath the surface. These unseen elements and multidimensional layers make us whole, and we should nurture and tend to them with care. Just as the horse gallops freely with no baggage, you have the chance to free yourself of whatever it is that blinds you. Whether it is a toxic relationship or a job that gives nothing back, what do you need to free yourself from? Horses are healers and protectors of the earth, teaching us that we have the freedom to express and let go of that which does not serve us. If we align with Mother Earth and her heart center, we can achieve our creative and healing missions. Crystal companions here are orange calcite, petalite, or petalite. Give me 1 second. It goes to one other page. It's hard to do this with one hand. Give me a moment. One moment, friends. Oh, I guess that's it. Okay. What's interesting, though, is as I turn this page from horse on this is the Spirit Animal Wisdom deck. It heads straight into flamingo, and since we had the flamingo card right above it and happened to see this, I'm going to go ahead and read the flamingo message from this other book. Here it's, actually I'm going to focus on flamingo. So it's Unity Heart, elements of water and air, and the meaning. You are being called to work on collective healing. Okay, so the one of the other deck is Embrace the In-Between, and now we're being, the message on this one is you're being called to work on a collective healing. So let's see what they say. You can be the brightest, most vivacious person, but still need the guidance and comfort of a flock, a group of others that help lift you. Don't be afraid to ask for help or to look for guidance in others at this time. We must learn to move together, to heal and support each other. The old structures of self-absorption are crumbling as we move towards a unified consciousness. The flamingo shows us that we can be beautiful, vibrant, and bold, and still hold our voice within a group. We will be seen and heard. Our voice or sense of self will not disappear. It will be lifted in new ways. You are surrounded in love and support from the heavens at this time. Unseen guides and messengers are waiting to connect. Call on them. Ask them for help. The crystal companions for the card are pink amethyst, what is this? Colbado calcite and pink kunzite. Okay. That's a beautiful message in there. I'm going to read one line that particularly grabbed my attention. If I can find it again, give me a moment. Let's see where it was. Give me one more moment. No, I guess there wasn't one in there. I could have sworn there was something else I wanted to read, but anyway. All right, just had a little slow pause there. Okay, so now let's look overall, and I'm just going to read the key taglines at the bottom of each card again. Maybe I can hold it like this while I look. Okay, so we have Dove, be peace. Koi fish, there is always enough. Bobcat, life is a mystery. Flamingo, embrace the in-between. Bat, a rebirth is assured. Starfish, open to infinite possibility. Badger, be fearless and bold. Horse, free spirit. And penguin, diamond light activation. So I would just say I don't kind of see something that kind of want to go through and pick apart or anything overwhelming coming out message-wise. Just other than these are all amazing characteristics to embody, embrace, and play with. Excellent reminders just to stand in our own truth. Know that we are maybe going through a bit of a rebirth and some little transitions, maybe some metamorphosis is happening too, but that just brings us into a new wide open field in front of us, which is open to infinite possibilities. And instead of fighting or resisting something, just embrace the now, even if it is in a somewhat of an in-between state. That is the mystery of life, of what we're going through until we come out to a different, or evolve to a different level, like a level up in a game. And we just have to remember it is a game. So in that game, do you believe that there's nothing in scarcity, or do you believe that there's more than enough and things are overflowing, and that what do I want to say, the source of the spring, so to speak, can never be capped. It just keeps pumping and pumping and pumping out more and more water, and that the Mother Earth just gives infinite water. There is no lack. There is, no lack of supply like we're brainwashed to believe. I was just up at the, if you look at some of my shorts on YouTube, I was just up in, turns out it was Silver Springs, Florida. And if you look up the history of that spring and what happens now, it's freaking amazing. And I don't remember now how many millions of gallons it pumps out in a very short time. It's enough to push, 5, I guess as the average, 5 miles per hour. It pushes all millions of gallons, down the river or up the river, however you want to say it. And it just keeps pumping and pumping and pumping, and has from the very beginning and will continue on. And it pumps so much from some of these Florida springs that natural water pops up way out into the ocean. And it's said that, travelers and their ships, way back, like I guess probably in the 1500s even, and before, because there are many other sea travelers that came to this eastern seaboard, way before that. They just, modern history, quote unquote, tells us it just kind of started in the 1500s. But anyway, point is that some of these big galleon ships or whatever, they knew where these you would just see like a dark black hole of water popping up in the ocean, and you would know that was sweet or fresh water. And you could just dip your bucket in or cup in and pull up fresh water buckets or whatever they did, kegs full. So anyway, why am I going there? I don't know. Just again, just talking about there's always enough. And if you go forward knowing that's the truth of it, like, can you honestly say that if we're going through a spiritual shift, that you think that you're going to go from a 3D world, a very material, tactile world, to a more spiritual world? Do you think that spiritual world ever has lack? So it's good if we can practice believing in it now, that there is abundance. And if we see it as abundance and go with our heart on it, and our spiritual eyes, our third eye, but also just our common sense eyes, and get the brainwashing programming out of our mind. Like when I look at that beautiful clear spring and I'm told how many gallons pump out every day, I mean, it just, it's like, there's no shortage of water, So anyway, just, go with our intuition and not some of this outdated, agendized or, indoctrinated book learning that we've been exposed to, unfortunately, when we were little. See the world anew, and I think that's a big message coming through now in the rebirth. It's just like the again, for any Star Wars fans out there, and pardon me if I mess up the quote, but it was like Yoda in Empire Strikes Back, I think it was. He said, You must unlearn what you have learned, and that absolutely applies to now. Unlearn all the old stuff that we've learned, because we've got to look with fresh eyes and look at everything anew. Start asking questions. There's no dumb question, and really see our world with new eyes. Okay, that's belabored point there, enough. All right, so let's go to the top 2 cards to round this out, and then that'll be it for today. Oh, and on the left, I didn't call out these crystals. We've got some rose quartz going on in there. I think a moonstone and a little piece of amazonite. Okay, so now I'll just read these kind of as a pair. We have, for whatever reason, I'm going to start with the one on the right. So it's number 13 or 4, Clear the Fog. We've got a lot of labradorite up there. I think also some moonstone. And let's see. So we've got a very fuzzy, hazy picture. We can only somewhat make out the other person in the distance, right? And what's interesting here is it says clear the fog, and maybe it's almost like it's mirroring this person, because the other one is the same kind of slender figure wearing kind of the same kind of outfit with a similar kind of dog. So is this person, looking off into the mist and kind of using that as a mirror of sorts for some kind of cloudy thoughts, or they just can't quite see clearly themselves, kind of thing? Who knows? Let's see. Maybe that is a message for somebody to, get clear on how you see yourself. And maybe it's time to wipe down your mirror. Maybe the mirror or the lens you're seeing yourself with is a little cloudy, and you're not seeing how beautiful and, clear, beautiful colors like you are. Maybe you're seeing yourself as a lesser version of you. So, get into seeing yourself for the beautiful self that you are. And when you see yourself as beautiful, that's how everyone else around you will see you too. All right, now we've got number 29. It's an 11 or 2. Say, quote, I'm sorry, quote. Okay, I never liked the phrase. Maybe this is an opportunity for me to pipe up and speak about how I feel about the phrase, I'm sorry. I never like to use I'm sorry because, as many of you probably know, I am are very powerful words, and what you say after it does matter. So maybe you can say rather, I feel sorry, and then you're not using the I am. I like to just say, pardon that I did this or that. Pardon that this happened. Because there's a very different energy involved. It's still communicating the I'm sorry, but again, if you start reinforcing I am sorry, that means it's, to me, that's saying that like I am pathetic, because it's not communicating that you want somebody else to kind of pardon that this or this happened. So that's why I feel strongly about not using that phrase, okay? And then, so anyway, let's look at the scene. So obviously, it kind of looks like she's the one that's saying, like, pardon, something that maybe is not great news for the man on the right, right? And we don't know what's going on with this little exchange of why she's saying kind of like pardon. But she is kind of holding her heart space, so she seems genuine about it. And let's just see what these two might mean. Say, I'm sorry. Okay, so I think this is just a moment of getting really clear, like the right, and honest with yourself. And just, rise to the highest version of you. If there's something that you need to own it and kind of admit it to yourself first. I kind of get, even though there's a man standing there, I get it more like it's like pardon yourself. Say, not say you're sorry, but tell yourself, pardon, I didn't mean to hurt you. And I feel like it's more internal. I think, in this scene, it's almost like he could or could not be there. It's like kind of more of an internal message, because I don't see even like her eyes. Yeah, they're kind of looking at him. And then that's one way, is maybe it's more of an apology to yourself, or forgive me, self. I'm doing the best I can in this earth with what I have to work with and the outside, forces and influences and all of that. And then if it is to the man, he seems like he's taking, he wants to hear, he wants the truth. And so she's having the courage, or courage, right? Core is the heart, to tap into that heart space and say honestly how she feels. And then, hopefully he'll have the opportunity to respond. And maybe, we say, sometimes we take on far too much guilt than we should, We have a tendency to kind of punish ourselves too much. And again, it's just, we're products of our environment there. We've kind of been told to do that. We've been indoctrinated to feel guilty or shameful. Those are not things that are a loving God. So those should not even be in our quote unquote, everyone says this wheelhouse of modern expression. So, but we're like, formed to do that so that, the evil powers of darkness in the world can feed off of that energy. So we need to kick all of that to the curb, throw it over the fence here in this card, and just talk to each other heart to heart, honestly. And no matter how quote unquote hurtful we think it might be to another person, deep down, I think everybody wants to know the truth. And when they say truth sets you free, it can set you free, absolutely. And when you speak honestly and from the heart, you cannot go wrong. That is, usually the right thing to do. And then you say, oh, I don't want to hurt somebody. Well, let them stand up and be man enough or woman enough to determine whether that's hurtful or not. And there's a lot of lessons in there for everybody. But if you both speak the truth, that's the best anybody can ask from each other. And then you can pardon or forgive each other. Now, it goes back to forgiveness. If there's something to forgive, ultimately, what I like to look at it this way is, if it's something so horrible and you're not there yet and you can't bring yourself to forgive another person, somebody just so wisely told me this once, it helped so much. I've said it before, I'll say it again. You can forgive the action. I'm sorry, the other way around. You can forgive the person. You don't have to forgive the action. So somehow separating the two really at least helped me, because you don't want to hold on to bitterness, unforgiveness, because that's only a toxic poison that will then, metaphorically speaking, that then can turn into a real illness and trap inside your own body. So let it go. You can get there to be, quote unquote, the bigger person if you think it wasn't your fault. Ultimately, everybody has a different perception of what's going down in any situation. Maybe they see it totally different, right, quote unquote, right or wrong. So you know what? Just, tap into that love and forgive the person. You don't have to forgive the action right away if you can't. I'll give another little tip to this on forgiveness. If somebody is dying at their deathbed and you're standing there, are you going to hold it over the person and be resentful? Or are you going to say, I love you, is there anything I can do for you? I will tell you, it will be the latter, not the former. So why not get to that place right now and not wait years, decades, do it now. Just do it. Just decide to do it. Okay. I don't know why I went there, but I did. All right, everyone. I think that's it for now. I wish all of you tremendous peace and love as always. A gorgeous right now, and if it's your weekend, a beautiful weekend. So thanks for being here. I always forget to start off with that. Thank you all for being here, and I wish you tremendous peace and love. Lavender Sky Panther. Bye.